We'll go ahead and call the Tuesday, March 1st FARGODOME Authority meeting to order. First order of business would be to approve the agenda, which I believe everybody has.
So moved.
No changes. I'll accept a motion from Mike to approve the agenda.
Need somebody on the line for a second.
Second.
A second from Nancy. All those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. Second would be approval of the minutes from the January 25th meeting, page 1 of your packet. If you could take a moment to review those. If there are no changes, again, I'd accept a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
He moves to approve, or second.
Yeah, we'll take a motion from Nancy, second from Mike.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yep.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, approved, minutes are approved. Old business, is there any old business to come before the authority? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business and start with the general manager's report. Rob Soblik.
All right, thanks all. Page 3 of your packet is the financials for the month of January. As you heard last week, so I'm sure Susan commented it's her favorite month because the columns are the same. See? So for the month of January, we had 4 events with an attendance of just over 8,800 compared to a budget of 7 event days with an attendance of 15,000. The difference there was the Fight the Frost event not happening. We had total event income of 114,500 compared to a budget of just over 116,600. We had expenses of 449,000, which is a little bit over budget. The budget is 421.5. So for the month of January, we had a net deficit of 193,700, which was slightly below the budgeted deficit of 166,500. So on the event income side, obviously the Red River Valley Boat and Marine Show, ancillary revenues, food and beverage sales, and parking were slightly above budget. So we did end up slightly on ahead of budget on that. And then WWE was very strong compared to budget with attendance and parking, food and beverage sales, and merch sales. That's about $20,000 above budget there. And then obviously with the Fight the Frost event not happening, that had a $16,000 negative effect. Just a quick comment on that. That's probably going to be the last time you see Fight the Frost budgeted in our budget. In talking with the event organizer, Games Galore, that we do that with, they are not immune to the labor problem, so they've kind of switched their whole business model as well, and likely not doing large-scale events like that anymore. On the expense side, labor was generally consistent, slightly below budget. The general administrative expenses were about $6,000 above budget, as we had to pay a full $5,000 engineering fee on the insurance side of things. And then the month of January was snowy, but not as snowy, but very windy, which for us, wind causes more issues than snow to keep clearing the snow all the time. And very cold, so electricity and steam heating was very busy, so about $24,000 above budget there. Any questions on the January financials, which also mirror the year-to-date financials? Okay, having none, then moving on to past and upcoming events since our last meeting, which was January 25th. As we talked at that meeting, the boat show was starting to move in. That moved in on the Wednesday, Thursday, and then we had the show the 28th through the 30th. Actually heard from the vendors. Attendance was slightly down, but the vendors had good shows. We're selling a lot of stuff, or I should say ordering a lot of stuff. I think I had heard that at least 3 of the vendors that were displaying at the show had already sold all their 22 inventory, so they're working on future years. And then that was the start of a very busy stretch, which we're still in today. But the boat show moved out on the 30th, 31st. brought the dirt in for Monster Jam on Tuesday the 1st. And this year was a format change that Feld wanted, so we did 2 shows just on Saturday the 5th. Had very good attendance, very good ticket sales, extremely busy on the concession stands and at the doors. Everybody here did a wonderful job picking up and dealing with the labor shortage and getting it through. A lot of our administration staff was down working concession stands and taking tickets, marketing and administration and event planning. Everybody pitched in, so it was actually it was very busy, but it was very, very nice to see everybody come together and make it happen. The dirt got cleared out and cleaned up, and the NDSU Career Fair moved in on Tuesday the 8th, and the Career Center had their large career fair on Wednesday the 2nd. That went out, and the Kiwanis Pancake Carnival, which has historically been in that second weekend, went virtual again this year. So this year we ended up just with a disc golf organization in, and they had a disc golf tournament on Saturday the 12th inside the building. That was completed, and the North Dakota High School Activities Association moved in their state wrestling tournament on that Tuesday and Wednesday, and then had the tournament on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, while everybody fought the weather as well. They moved out quickly, operations, and everybody did a quick changeover from the 19th to the 20th, and the North Dakota Soybean and Corn Councils moved in, set up, and had their event set up on the 20th, and had their event on Monday the 21st. They moved out quickly, and the home show came in right behind them, starting on Tuesday the 22nd, loading in through Friday morning the 25th, and they just completed their show here this past weekend, the 25th, 26th, 27th, and moved out last night, or yesterday morning, as the sports show started to move in again today, and that takes us to today. Any questions on comments on past events? Okay, hearing none, then moving forward, as I mentioned, the Red River Valley Sportsman Show moves in today, tomorrow, through Thursday morning, early afternoon, and the Sportsman Show will then open up at 5 o'clock Thursday evening. That will run through Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock. They'll then load out on Sunday. A couple of days of a little bit of quiet as operations converts the building over, and we'll have the Toby Mac concert on Friday the 11th. Quick changeover out of that, and Slipknot will come in on Sunday the 13th and set up and do rehearsals the 13th, 14th, and 15th prior to their show on Wednesday the 16th. They'll get out, and Elton John's crew will come in for his concert on Saturday the 19th here. They'll leave that evening, and the Dirt will come in on Tuesday the 22nd for the PRCA Rodeo, with those performances on Friday and Saturday the 25th and 26th of March, which takes us up to our next meeting on March 29th. So as you can see, it's been a very busy time, and it's going to continue to be a very busy time through the rest of March and into and through April as well, and the first part of May. So we're back doing as best we can. We continue to have the challenges, face the challenges with labor and scheduling and things such as that. So we're looking at a few different things such as that. Susan and Bernie have been working with parking. We're expanding our volunteer group, nonprofit group options, fundraising options to our parking department, as it's another department that we're struggling to get employees in. And also we're looking at it, we've checked, or I should say Susan has worked extensively with the City of Fargo Human Resources and their safety office, and we don't have a solution. Obviously we raised our starting wages 30 to 40%, had a little bit of a dent, but didn't get rid of it, so we're now moving on and looking at starting to hire 16 and 17-year-olds, dropping that age down. A lot of businesses do that. They won't work in all areas. They won't work in the operations department, but more just the customer interaction side, to try to find more solutions to this severe labor crunch that unfortunately I don't see an end to. Other questions?
Just out of curiosity, the Toby Mac to Slipknot, and I know Elton John's a full house, but is that 3 different stage configurations?
Toby Mac and Slipknot are both in the south end half house. The south seating is maybe sitting in a different place for Toby Mac as it is Slipknot. Still to be determined for Slipknot. But also with Slipknot, there's no chairs on the floor, so it makes it a little bit easier. But there are pretty decent conversions, and then with it sitting back there, the seats are in place for Elton John. It'll just be a matter of building the stages and getting the chairs on the floor.
Because you've done Toby Mac in like the theater before, haven't you?
We used to. We did a lot of our Christian Contemporary in the Gate City Theater set. Toby Mac, his stage is huge with a runway. It just wouldn't fit, and they didn't want to cut it down, so we put it there. And then actually the Mercy Me show that we have in April is actually going to be in the basketball set, which creates its own set of challenges with trying to get into the spring game the next morning. So we're working through all that. But these Christian Contemporary shows have really started doing larger tours and designing their stages for basketball, hockey arenas. So
Got it.
We have to adapt here as well.
All right, any questions for Rob? Do we do the financials now? Or do
We do need that, yes.
So Rob's given the financials, so we'd ask for a motion to approve the January financials.
So moved.
Motion from Mike. The second.
Second.
Second from Rick. Roll call.
Nancy,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Troy,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
All right. Financials are approved, and we'll move on to item B, committee reports.
All right, so the committee reports, this dates back to February 23rd, the Building and Finance Committee. The first order at that meeting was the auditor's report. So there's a copy of the auditor's report here for everybody. Just very high level, everything turned out very good, very positive report. No findings, and really not a whole lot to report on. So good job by Susan and the staff and everything that they've been doing. So do we have to make a motion to accept the audit report?
It can be with.
You'll
You
just
can do it
accept
as a,
it through
with
the
all of
committee
it.
report.
Okay, all right. All right, so then with that, we've already heard about the financials, and then on projects and capital projects, Rob had asked to, or I guess Susan had asked to do a request for the fire alarm system. Rob the previous month, but the costs and more unforeseen things that came up. So they had asked to reallocate up to $60,000 from FD 2018 catering dressing room remodel project to FD 2003 fire alarm, and that would increase the budget to $320,470, and it was approved by both committees at the meeting. And then talked a little bit about the escrow account. It's still not doing too bad for the conditions that we're in. And other than that, there really was no other updates. So with that, I would, if nobody has any questions, I would make a motion to accept the committee reports.
Thanks, Mike.
Dean second.
Second from Rick. Roll call.
Rick,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Troy,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
All right. Any additional items to keep Rob away from the basketball game?
I got Twitter.
All right. Hearing none, we're adjourned.